So I talked about this before, a few months ago. It's without a shadow of a doubt, the country has got a lot more violent in the last decade, in the last 5 years at most. Every night in the news, you see about people being attacked, being killed, being murdered, being God only knows what happened to people with young children. God, unspeakable stuff. Parents have done to their children, to their own children, not to anybody else's children, to their own children, and to obviously to other children too. And it's literally happening every day of the week. Every time you turn on the news now, it's happening in Ireland, and it shouldn't be happening. We have to understand why this is happening. And the next thing too leads on to my next point. People are afraid to even go outside, go down to the shop, go down to the pub, go down to the local post box. They're afraid to go there in small towns and villages, even like Dublin city centre, without even going into Dublin city centre, even small towns and villages in Monaghan and Tipperary and different places, they're afraid to go out. And Dublin city centre, I don't even think I have to even this. Like we have seen about this poor young man who was attacked in Dublin city centre, American tourist that loved Ireland, came over to Ireland, wanted to explore Ireland, and he's lying in an A&E bed in Beaumont Hospital. It is a disgrace. First of all, it's a disgrace we can't keep our own citizens safe, and it's a disgrace that a tourist that's coming over here has a huge passion for Ireland gets attacked on the street, a few hundred metres away from the biggest Gala station in the country, across from Busaras in Dublin, which God knows how many gals sit there arsing around, and it's just allowed to happen. It's just allowed to happen, and nothing's ever done about it. And thankfully, they got one of the people that done it. But my point in it is that we have to make our streets safer, regardless of what we do. And the only way we're going to do it too is heavy heavy sentencing for people that cause trouble. And obviously, many people say the majority of people on the wage and stuff like that. Then we should obviously punish them very harshly if they do, like these people in particular on the wage. For what I gather, they should be punished very hardly. They should be made go out. A lot of these people, a lot of them are on the wage and stuff, are just hanging around on a Saturday. They have no weekend jobs or summer jobs or anything like that. We should make them go out and do community service, do hard community service, hard labour, hard physical labour, that'll make them tired in the evening, that they can't do anything. They literally can't even lift a finger because they'll be that tired after doing hard physical work, which is what we need. Again, hard work never killed anybody. If we make them go and start cleaning streets and stuff like that, using shovel, doing coves, cutting coves, or even cutting grass and things like that. Hard labour never killed anybody. And that's what we need to do in terms of delinquents and stuff like that. We need to focus on that punishment, because obviously what we're doing at the moment is just giving them a slap in the wrist and they go off and do it the next minute. Like, we need to start taking things seriously. If we want to become an anarchist society, which is the way we're going at this point, at the moment in time in government and stuff like that, anything goes. Literally anything goes. The constitution means nothing. Law means nothing to the government. They just tear it up as they go along. Whenever they need to get rid of something, they get rid of it. But yeah, we're going to become an anarchist society at this point that literally has no laws, has no values, has nothing. And basically, at the end of the day, we won't be a country. We won't be a country. We won't have a soul. And we need to fight back against that. We need to try and prevent that. For not for us being here, for our children and our children's children, that they don't have to fear walking down the street. And it's a small ask that people be safe walking the streets. Again, these are basic stuff for a country and a society, that it's safe, that you can walk to the shop, that you can go to school. Young children feel safe in the playground without being abducted. It's the small basics. It's the smallest thing you need for a society to function, to be safe. Regardless of anything else, you need to be safe and to feel safe, and to know that you won't be killed at any stage walking the street. At the moment in time, you honestly debate, will you be killed going down any street? Not in some places. Obviously, some places are bad as others, but we need to focus on that, and obviously too with drugs and alcohol abuse, because again, at the end of the day, the majority of this goes back to alcohol and drugs and things like that. And we need to try and educate people, first of all, in schools and stuff, about the dangers of alcohol, the dangers of drugs. Again, it's very, when you get hooked on them, it's very addicting. You can't get off it. we need to understand, particularly to young people, we need to reach out to young people to stay away. The best thing is to stay away and not to get involved in drugs or alcohol. It's just better to stay away because you're better off without it. And we have to get that message through to young people that it's not cool, that it's just we need to keep them away from it, and simple as that. And also we need a more community based policing approach. What I'm talking about that too, community guards, local community guards that know people around the area. At the moment in time, even in County Cavan here, we used to have community guards for different areas, and they were from the area. Right, take for example in Wet Hills there was a community guard. And there's about maybe 300 people around the area of Wet Hills in County Cavan. Right, he knew all the people around Wet Hills. Just take an example. He knew all the people around Wet Hills, 300 people. He knew who was the troublemaker, right? Who was the troublemaker, who to look out for. And he was there as somebody that the community could go to, who they could trust. There was a member of the community, was from that area. That's a guard they can trust, And that's important. We need to build trust in our Garda Síochána. Now, there's a lot of guards, and the Garda Síochána shouldn't be there. They should get the boot very quickly. As I say, there's always going to be a bad apple in every part of society, no matter what. Either be the civil service, the public service, the health service. There's always going to be a bad apple there. And regardless of what station you go to, there's always one or two bad apples. But the vast majority of guards are there. They're there to help people, to serve people, and they're there to do a job. But the people that don't deserve to be there should be given the boot, and somebody more deserving should be given their job, obviously. But that's what we need to. We need a more community-based approach that people know the people know the guard in the community. We need to kind of community policing, as we call it. We need to focus on that, and obviously, it'd be more better for the community to engage with An Garda Síochána if they had a guard that was from the area. Because I often find it too in Cavan that a lot of people won't speak to a guard because they don't understand the area. They don't understand the issue in the area. Because they're from, take for example, if there was an issue in Cavan town, right out by the hospital, take for example, out by the hospital there in Cavan, and there's a guard from Ballyconnor, and he never was from the Cavan town area, right? He didn't know the issue around the area. He just going by hearsay, basically. He doesn't understand the people. It'd be better to have a community guard, take for example in Cavan town, it was bared and buttered in Cavan town. It was from Cavan town, that knew the area. He lived not too far away from it. He knew the people. It's better for the community engagement, and people would open up and talk to the guard, compared to if we said the guard from Ballyconnor, take for example, that doesn't know the area. These little things I do think make a difference. Will make a difference. And obviously it's important too. But people do get out of prison. We often see this. People we offend, either be for small thefts, petty thefts, just swapping something off the shop. Majority of the time, people we offend and end back in prison. We need to try and get a system, particularly like Finland. As you see now, if you look up Finland, there's loads of videos. They have the lowest reoffending rates in the world. If somebody goes to prison, they're not likely ever to go back. Never really to go back. Very few people ever go back to prison. Because they have a good system when they get out of prison to give them employment. They give them stable employment, first of all. If it's they're taking money or robbing houses and things like that, they give them stable employment as soon as they go out of prison. They give them opportunity in education to pursue their education, to become better, to educate themselves better. Better part, again, at the moment they've just been flung out of the prisons, and nothing's basically done to help them get the stepping stone back into society, back to normal functions of life. At the moment in time, they've just been fucked out into the street and so told, do whatever you want, basically. We don't give a shit about you. That's basically the country at the moment. And some people do have problems. We will admit that mental health is another problem too. People suffer it. And again, we have to tackle these issues and we have to understand these people. But at the same time, we have to be harsh. If somebody breaks the law, it's the law. We can't bend the law. The law is the law, and people should understand the law and respect the law. Because again, as I say, if we let it go the way it's going in 10 years, unfortunately, at this stage, maybe 5 years, God forbid, we'd be a totally anarchist society. Anything go, people be shot in the street, and nothing be done about it. Because that's literally the way it's going in some parts of the country. And it's a sad sight to see, but we need to take law and order seriously. We need to make sure that our women, our children, even young men and stuff like that, feel safe going down the street. Because at the moment there's loads, I even know of young people who are in university in Dublin, they're afraid to go out of their own room in the college They're afraid to go out. They simply are afraid to go out. They're afraid to even go into a classroom in Dublin. They're afraid to go anywhere in Dublin. And just think of it as a young lad, you're afraid. You're really, really afraid, and you're trying to learn. Imagine how that affects your studying. So we have to do something soon about it. We have to take on new ideas. Look at other countries, particularly Finland, as I say, and how they deal with crime and antisocial behaviour and disorderly conduct and stuff like that. We need to look at it, because the system that is there at the moment is not. It's the old-fashioned way of just simply lock them up for a few weeks, let them out again. They do the same thing again, lock them up again, let them out, and it's just a constant repeat and repeat and repeat. And then when they go up to courts, the judges let them off for it too, and they're just given a pat on the head and let out again. So, and that's not the right system. There needs to be punishment. There needs to be justice. Thank you.